Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Hall, Project Elect, enthusiastic leaders engaging in changing times. We have been having conversations over the past several months with Project Elect and with issues that's going on in the community. And what we try to do as Project Elect is be a conduit for the community. In other words, we want to get information out there to people that otherwise wouldn't be able to get it. We cover issues in spirituality, we cover community and economic development, we talk about education, we talk about just moving the community forward. And today, I am just delighted to be talking to a special guest. I'm very proud to have him. I'm not going to say judge right now, but I want to try to set the foundation for this man. We have Mr. Ricky Thompson. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing today,
Good,
sir?
good. I wanted to say judge, but I want to set the precedent here. You were actually the first black Justice Court judge in Lee County.
That is correct, yes.
And I just found out you were actually election commissioner.
Right, I was like,
Did not know that.
Right, here for Lee County, the
Oh,
first
okay.
one, yes.
Okay, the first one.
African American.
African American, I got you.
Person of color.
Got you,
How
got
you want
you.
to put
Okay.
it, yes.
And so you're a registered nurse,
Licensed practical nurse.
licensed practical nurse. I'm gonna get all of this right, LPN. So,
Uh-huh.
but now you are Representative Ricky Thompson of the 16th District. Now let me get this right. Lee County and Monroe.
That's correct.
Okay.
Portion of it's okay. What you're looking at is portion of Lee County and portion of Monroe County. So I'm kind of straddled two different districts to make the 23,000 that you need to make up your district and everything. So I'm just proud to be part of that district and represent my constituents.
Oh, okay. So just kind of tell me, and we got a somewhat of an idea what a representative does. So can you kind of explain to me in details what your duties are as the representative?
Well, pretty much, I have a lot of constituents, and when you look at this and you think about what it does, that means if you have issues that you can't resolve, anything like that, and like I said, being one of the representatives from the state of Mississippi means I can be your voice. When you talk to my community that's underserved, I can be their voice. When it comes to issues that you want to vote yes or no, you know, I'm casting a vote for the voice of the people. So pretty much when you say represent, I represent the people for the 16th district. But which you look at is so very important, which once you send me down to Jackson, I just want to make sure that you have the possibilities that your vote would cast the voice of the people. And that's one thing that I take very dear that we really need to think about when we go down to Jackson. And I take that, when I do that, I take that along with my, my beliefs and everything to make sure that we do the right thing for the people.
Okay. And so I know that you've been in this position for about a year now.
Right.
Am I correct?
That is correct.
And so, but I also noticed that since you have been in that position, I'm getting like emails and texts about information from Jackson, what's going on in our communities, what to look forward to. And in the past, I don't remember getting into that. I'm not saying that, you know, people didn't do that, but what I'm saying, some of us hadn't been privy to the information that you're actually putting out. And I guess that's something that's in your vision to do.
Right. To understand what to represent, you have to be more transparent and let them know what's coming that's going to affect your community. So that's very important that we get the issues out and we have a conduit like Project Elect to get the word out to the community, let them know how it's going to affect them, what bills are in that district that can make a difference, and just let your representative know, I want you to vote this way on this bill because I'm against this bill, this is what this bill does to my community. And that's one thing that we got to understand as your representative. I definitely want to be transparent to let you know I'm in Jackson, I'm working for you. I'm just not down there just to do nothing, but I want to bring something back to the community that's going to be positive, that's going to serve the community. So when you get the information out there, you want to make sure that the choice is yours. When this bill become full circuit, like every July the 1st, we have new laws and everything that come into effect. So you won't be caught off guard. Your representative will be talking with you to let you know, say, come July the 1st, this bill is going to come into effect and this is what's going to happen.
Okay. So what you're doing now, and just say that I have a question or don't understand a law or a certain kind of a bill, how would I actually get in touch with you and make that connection?
Well, we had several different numbers. Like I said, when you call down to the Capitol, they always leave a message that this certain individual would like for you to call them, and that's part of the process. So if you have something like that, also we get plethora of texts and stuff like that back and forth. Since we're in this new technology age, they can email you and let you know, because when they have a bill that they are totally against, you get a lot of texts saying vote no, vote yes. So it's a variety of ways that you can get in contact with your representative. So like I say, I'm just a phone call away, a text away, however you want to put it. I'll be there to get back with you, because the things I always try to do is make sure that I reach out to the community, that you're able to reach me, and I'll call you back.
Okay. For those of you that's probably just joining us, Robert Hall, Project Elect, and we're working to get information out to the community. And we're here with Representative Rep Thompson of the 16th District. So once this goes on Facebook, you're welcome to upload your questions or anything, and we'll make sure to get them to Representative Thompson and try and get back with you. So Representative Thompson, because we know the last year what's been plaguing our community, over 500,000 people in our nation have lost their lives. Millions have been infected with the COVID-19. Now I know, coming from an aspect of a registered nurse and some personal things that you dealt with, can you just tell us what you feel personally and professional about the pandemic, and if we are doing the right thing about it now, or are we about to really come out of it?
Well, as you look at it, if you look at the CDC and the guidelines, what the scientists say, we just at the beginning stage of just really making things happen. That means we still have to continue to wear our masks, do the social distancing, and be sure to wash your hands. So as you look at this from the nurse perspective, we're not out of it. We still got to get our vaccines to make sure that we're covered, because this is a deadly disease. As you look at our community, we have been devastated and really had a lot of effect on our community. The last caucus meeting that we had, I think it was like 19% of the African American community has been vaccinated, which is a very low level. So what we do as the legislators, we want to make sure that we have avenues that can get our people vaccinated, because when you look at the ones that are underserved, that is us. And also, when you look at the disparity when it comes to insurance and everything, you look at our community, we really don't have any insurance, because sometimes we don't have those jobs that carry insurance, or we can't afford it, because everyday life brings a lot of challenges. So when you look at that, there are some things that we need to see if we can correct. One of the things that we definitely need to look at, like I said, talking with the legislature, if we could expand this Medicare for our Mississippians, it would make a big difference. That means people have more insurance, they're more apt to go to the doctor and take care of themselves, because, as we do this preventative thing, it's very helpful that we get in our community, we talk different things. So that's one thing that we really need to try to start working on, is make sure that you take care of yourself as a nurse. If you have minor problems, make sure that you go to the doctor, and most of all, make sure that you have a primary care physician, because when things happen, he'll have a record of what's going on, or she'll have a record of what's going on, to make sure that they're keeping track of things. Because when you look at this pandemic and how it is affecting our community, it's there. And that's one thing, because I say to myself, we are all lost a loved one that we have been close to because of this deadly disease. So it's very important that, like I said, if you have the symptoms, don't shrug it off. Go check things out to make sure that you are being taken care of.
One of the things that I know that we have been practicing, trying to do those things, get those words out. And so we did, the vaccine did come in, Pfizer, Moderna, and now Johnson & Johnson.
Correct.
So what is your opinion on the accessibility to the underprivileged communities? Because I hear you say underprivileged a lot, which tells me your passion.
Right. Well, when you're dealing with the underserved community, that means we have a lot of mistrust when it comes to medicine. You look at the history of what's been happening to us as a people. So that concerns me. That means we have to have individuals who want to step up to the plate. Like I said, I had the vaccine myself. I had both doses to encourage people that this is something safe that we can take, and it will
Was that the
save lives.
Pfizer?
It was the Pfizer. I had the Pfizer,
Okay.
both doses of the Pfizer. So that's something that we need to do as leaders, just step up to the plate to let them know that this is safe, and encourage them to get the vaccine.
Any side effects with your personal?
Well, personally, the only thing I had was just a sore arm. Occasionally after sacrament, just a little joint aching. But other than that, I've done real good from the vaccine and everything. Just to let everybody know, I did have COVID and everything, but that's why I'm encouraging you to go ahead and get the vaccine.
Wow, so you dealt with COVID-19 personally.
Personally, right.
And you dealt with it as an LPN, and then on the professional level, now you're dealing with, I guess, some of the things that we're trying to get into the community because of COVID.
Right.
Which leads me to my next question.
Okay.
So when it came to COVID, I mean, the job layoffs, the job shutdowns, when our city, our states start closing down, people getting laid off, what is out there now? And I know there's been some things that's been out there, the paycheck protection,
right.
the loans, small businesses, but what's new about that now that you're heavily involved in?
Well, what's new about that now? You probably know, even if you got one the first time, you can apply a second time for the PPE. It means it's going to be a care. What we had in the state means called the CARES Act, means a lot of money was allotted for individuals that had employees that would take care of. But the main thing that kind of gets a lot of different people, if you're not keeping good records. This is a forgivable loan and everything, so it's very important that if you're in business, make sure your records are up to date and you're doing everything that you're supposed to. Because number one, when they do all the information and everything, they're gonna check everything to make sure everything is correct. So if you have good records, you don't have any problem. But the biggest thing is just trying to get people to apply. You know, some individuals just say, I don't want no part of the government, but the thing is, it's here to help you to weather the storm through the pandemic, because you had a lot of layoffs, people losing jobs and everything. So it's very important when you employ someone that you're able to keep your employee and maintain them. That's what I call a paycheck protection. That means you can pay an individual while they're off to take care of everything. So as you look at the CARES Act, there's a lot of money out there that's still, well, as you know, the second go around is coming now with the stimulus and everything. So we're looking at another thing that will help boost the economy, and that's the most important.
So one of the questions, I guess, would be, if someone did take advantage of the personal protection program, did get some type of government loan that was in the last CARES Act, now with the one that's about to come, even though this money hadn't been paid off or had been forgiven, they can reapply again?
They can apply again, yes. So that's what everybody knows. You can still reapply again for the second round if you didn't get anything in the first round. So even if you got money, you still can reapply. So that's one thing everybody knows. It's a lot of seminars, just like I said, send the project like to get out for small business to let them understand what's going on from Jackson, like information that we get firsthand. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that there is an opportunity out there for you to take advantage instead of you losing your business and losing everything that you got. That's very important, because some people put their life savings in what they do, and just to see it go away in less than a year due to this pandemic, it means this will get you to the next step until the economy opens back up again.
So one of the things I think that some small business owners ran into, and you tell me this is an area we probably need to go to, is, as a business person myself, one of the things that I found out in the community and what people were doing is they had issues getting money on the last go around because they did not file their taxes properly, or they did not file taxes at all. Is that something that you've heard of that, you know, I guess we should have learned a lesson from? Right.
Yeah, that's something, like I said, we should learn a lesson from. That means the second go around, it give you an opportunity to things in order. You know, as your representative, I can always instruct you what you need to call, and you know, the thing that we have to understand as your representative, I can call certain people to help you understand what you need and what to have when it comes time to apply again. So that's very important, that you should represent. I'm here to help you in the small business, because I want to see the economy thrive, get back to what it was, and get people back to spending again, and be able to get out and just mingle.
Now, I know you mentioned SBA, and even before we went on camera, we started talking about some of the contacts that you have. So in other words, we need to understand with the information that you've been sending out, and I will have to say, I got to commend you. I'm wondering how you keep up with everything, because your emails, your texts, people calling, information is actually coming out through Representative Thompson. I mean, it's coming.
It's all about how you build a relationship, and I understand that the people that I work with have a good relationship that I can call to get information and get it out. Like I said, real time, so we don't have to wait 2 or 3 months down the road and the money's all gone. So like I said, talking to someone from SBA that's at top notch, that knows and understands exactly what you need to apply for and how to apply for it. So that's something that I can engage in and instruct anyone to make the phone call and have them to get with you. They've been very prompt about that. When you're talking about that, we had a lot of issues when you're dealing with unemployment when you first started.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a relationship where I can call, and the individual that when I call them, they get back in 2 to 3 days to let them know you will receive this unemployment, because when it first started, we had a big problem. But we're still having some problems now, so I'm able to make contact with individuals that get you real time, because you know when you first started doing it, the phone, you couldn't get nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But as your representative, I can get the information for you.
So if someone wanted to talk to you, and I know that you always have gotten back in touch with me,
Mm-hmm.
they can call the Capitol and say, hey, I want
Mhm.
to leave a message for Representative Ricky Thompson.
Right.
And you would do all you can in your power within an ample amount of time to get back in touch
Right,
with them.
right. Exactly, yes. That's what it's all about, to make sure that your constituents are taken care of and make sure that they get the information, just not lag, you don't get back with them. But that's not my personality. I want to make sure that we get back with the individual and I say in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm. So we need to utilize you.
Exactly.
So you're ready, willing, and able.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is the first opportunity, as you say, I have a person of color to really engage in these
Mhm.
areas like that. So I want to make sure that when it comes to the economic side of it, when it comes to just understanding about your community, what can come to the community, different avenues that you can apply for when you're talking about bringing things in and getting things done for the people, and working with the other representatives to make sure that we are working together. So when we go to Jackson, we're working together as a collective, bring things back to the community
Mm-hmm.
as a whole.
Yeah. Now, before we got on camera again, we talked about, am I right here, ramp?
Ramp, right.
We're dealing with people, renters, people that are renting that hadn't been able to make their rent, maybe landlords that hadn't received their rent.
Right.
There's something new out there
Right.
on help with that.
This is last week we had a meeting for the housing side. It's $186 million out there, and it's called RAMP, which is Mississippi Rental Assistance Program. And what that does, if you're behind on your rent, anything like that, the money's out there for you to take care of your rent and utilities. Now, one thing that you got to understand, you got to have your paperwork. They want like your 2020 taxes, any notices that were
Back to taxes again, right?
Right, back to taxes if you filed that. But even if you're a rent and stuff like that, all they want to do is show where you're behind on your rent and everything. They trying to get this money out. I think the deadline is sometime in September, and we will be doing PSA. So we're gonna get Project Lake to get the information out. The application hadn't started yet, but in the next month or two, maybe in the next few weeks, for renters, if you know any renters that are behind on the rent or utilities, anything like that, we got $186 million that came to the state of Mississippi that's here specifically for renters. So we just want to make sure that if you're behind, you're about to get kicked out,
Mm-hmm.
talk to your person that you're renting from and say, look, this money is coming and it's available. Now, one thing that we did understand is that the landlord can apply on behalf of the renter, but the renter have to sign. So it's kind of a two-way street. The renter can do it themselves, or the landlord can do it. So we want to keep everybody in business, because sometimes you use that rental, as they say, of extra income to make sure that you can do what you want to do in life and enjoy yourself. So the money is coming. So if you out there and you're renting, you're behind anything like that, as they say, help is on the way. And I want to make sure that we get the information and make sure that you understand the application. It's not a hard application.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to the person is simple. They want as simple as possible. And the turnaround time is not going to be as long, because we understand they need their money and they want to make sure if they behind, like I said, if you've got a landlord behind on the bank dues and stuff like that and everything, that they'll be able to get their money.
So they can go maybe online. Is that through SBA or is that through?
It's totally different. It's
Okay.
like I said, it's a housing project. It's totally different. But we'll get the application as soon as I get the information. I'll be forwarding it to you guys to let them know to go ahead and start applying. I do have a direct line talking to the individual that came down to the Capitol and was talking to us about it. So that's something new that we hadn't heard of, is the money. The money's been out there, but it hadn't been really circulating like it's supposed to and everything.
That's amazing. You say, help is on the way, and I know we get in situations psychologically, and then, a person not being able to take care of their home, their families like they ought to. It's like, hey, I'm ready to throw in the towel. But what you're telling us is not just yet.
Not
Because you got people like yourself that's in Jackson working hard to bring these things to
Right.
us. My only issue is, why haven't we been informed about this before? Now, I know I got a good idea. You know, you only been there a year,
Okay.
but before that, we wasn't informed
Right, right.
of this information.
I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Now, see, this is why elections are so important, to make sure that you send somebody down there that's going to be looking out for the community, not looking out for themselves. So I'm looking out for the community as a whole, because we got a lot of issues that we got to deal with. We're looking at new laws when it comes to criminal justice reform. You're looking at voter suppression. You're looking at issues when it comes to this new thing, like you said, marijuana, and you're looking at this part of business only want to get in that part of. So it's a lot of issues and a lot of stuff that we got to deal with, a lot of bills that we've been passing the last few weeks that will make a difference. So we just got to keep our eye on the prize, and we just can't give up yet. Just like you're saying, we just got to keep hope. We just got to have somebody down there that you are comfortable talking with, and make sure we get the information. And that's the most important thing.
So how do you feel personally, Representative Thompson, about the economic situation among our African Americans? And how do you feel that we are moving along? Are we stagnated? Do we need to do something different? And I'm asking because, I think that you would know or have a vision for it.
Well, the vision is, as you look at our community, like I said, I'm always saying, you look at the community that's most underserved, it's a person of color sometimes in the underserved community. And talking to the other representative, and you're looking at person of color, like I said, now we represent 1.2 million African Americans in the state of Mississippi. That means we have to be their voices for the voiceless, to let them know issues that really affect our community. And you look at things such as, you probably heard of gentrification, and you probably heard of redlining. There are certain communities that you can't get into because you're redlined, because you won't get the loan, anything like that. So it's a lot of issues that we have to deal with when you talk about criminal justice reform. You look at those nonviolent offenders, that's drug users. We're looking at new legislations to allow them to have a reentry program before they get out, to give them jobs and everything, opportunities. So it's a lot of things that's happening down at the Capitol that we don't understand, because we all have a loved one that might have been addicted to drugs, and they just went down that wrong road and get those long sentences and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that I'm paying attention to that will make the community better. And when you look at those nonviolent offenders, just drug users, like anything else, you got to understand that we got to get them some help. How do you expect somebody to go there and didn't get any help and then come back out with the same problem? So we're definitely looking at that reentry program, and how can we help those citizens that get those individuals that have long sentences, because at the end of the day, that's still somebody's child, and that's still somebody that they care about, that cares about them.
And I didn't do my homework on the numbers. You did bring up criminal justice reform, and that's been one of the things that I think is a big concern across the nation right now. And I don't know the exact population now in Mississippi, but I imagine if we were whatever percentage of the population of Mississippi, then if you look at the incarceration, then African Americans are the highest.
Right.
But then some of the same crimes are crimes that are lesser than our counterparts. And that's serious business.
Right.
When you start really looking at the numbers. And so I can really appreciate you. Like I said, I won't get into numbers. Probably if we did, it'd be really even more scary. So, but that is something that you, as a representative, as lawmakers, you guys put time in on that.
Right. It's something that's not overnight. It's something that we really try to make sure the public is safe, and make sure the individual that's incarcerated is treated with respect. Just to make a long story short, as a representative, I had an opportunity to go down to Parchment. Those living conditions was just horrible. And you expect somebody to come back out, and it was just water everywhere, stuff just hanging down, and that's condition that someone's living in down there. And you expect somebody to come out to be the same person, and they had to experience all that stuff, filth, and it was just something, and stench and the odor and stuff like that. It was something that sticks in your mind, and that's something that we have to address, because with the state of Mississippi, we on the verge of being federal coming in and doing a lot of different things. That means we got to do something anyway. So we got to do some type of legislations to make sure that it's adequate for everybody to feel safe. That means not just anybody gonna get out. That means we got to make sure that the prosecutors on board, the judges on board, and give more discretion to the judges when it comes to when you say, we just said it's automatic, you don't have any discretion or anything like that. So it's a lot of things that you have to look at when it comes to the criminal justice system, because we're all affected by it one way or another.
And you brought up something earlier that, that's why our elections are so important. Now, at Project Elect, I guess we don't promote no certain party or whatever. But what you're saying is that get out and vote.
Right.
Get the information, get out and vote. That's why elections are so important. We've had people to die
Right.
for the right to vote. And we know that elections are coming up. They're going to continue to come up.
Right.
Is there any more stressing that you can put on the importance of actually getting out to vote?
Well, the stress I can put on, you look at the individual when you send somebody down to Jackson that comes back to the community and bring information to the community that's very vital so they can make the right decision and give them the information to discern, do I want to do this, do I want to do this, not do this. So it's very important. And you look at, we did have some legislation, as you say, across the nation that's been voter suppression. Where if you didn't vote in 2 elections, you'll be purged from the roads and stuff like that. So that means we got to pay close attention because those, as they say, bills can pass and then it'll be law. And that's one thing they have to deal with. So it's very important that we do get out and vote and understand the power of voting.
Okay. Now, I could sit here and talk for the next hour, but I know we don't want. We're going to come back, and I hope do periodic reviews on this. But one of the most important thing I would just like maybe go back and build a foundation on is the thing that's at hand, the CARES Act,
Right.
the new money that's coming in. You have information on that, so people just need to pay attention to the website, the SBA.
Right, SBA. It's a lot of different things. The website, and also the thing is, like I said, sometimes everybody don't have the internet access. So that means it's very important that Project Elect and the other individuals in Lee County get the information out because we understand that we do have a digital divide in some places and don't get the right information. So that means it's got to be email blast or something like that. But I'll make sure that you get their website to go to, who to talk to get the information and everything. So that's very important because this is money that can help an individual. When you're in a crunch, you do need help sometimes. And with this pandemic, and we understand how it's really affected the community and as a whole, when it comes to finances, everything is kind of tight right now. So just a little bit to move you forward is something that we really need to pay attention to. So you're right about that.
Here that we're working on now that we're about to see come to fruition.
Well, we got some very exciting news. The town of Shannon, we have been working on for the last 3 years, is natural gas out into the county. And that's very important, which is March the 8th, which is Monday at 10 o'clock at Shannon Town Hall. We'll be doing the, as they say, the big announcement. We did receive a grant. We worked on that very hard to get it down. So that means out in the county, those individuals who are using propane will be able to get natural gas now. So we're using phase 1, 2, and 3. So we're trying to get the entire southern end of Lee County with natural gas, which is the infrastructure that we need if you have different things come in. If you want to have, like I say, a housing development, you got the natural gas there and the infrastructure and the water. It's steady moving forward. So that's the biggest thing I can say that's happening right now. And we're looking for some more things. When you get the internet and the broadband together, those things are going to be an impact. That's going to be a turning point for the southern end of the county because when you look at the underserved, as I always say, it's not in our community first, it's in our community last. So as your representative, I've been working on that and going to work along with Brandon Presley to make sure that on the southern end that we get some broadband out in the county because we have individuals that goes to school out in the county that do not have internet. So that's a good thing to work on. So you get the natural gas and the broadband, we moving forward as a community.
Now that brought up something else. I know you brought up the broadband. And of course, you know, kids have been out of school and had to have internet access.
Right.
So you said the south end of the county. I live in the north end of the county, and my daughter has issues with the internet out there because it goes to a certain point and it actually stopped. And so is the south end the only one that y'all are working on?
Well, you know, as a representative, it's not on the south end, but you know, I have to make sure that we work in concert with everybody else. But I'm concerned because number one, we want to get it out there for our students. Just like you said, everybody have that problem that's out in the county. We know it's coming, but it's not coming fast enough. Because our students are getting behind with this pandemic and not going to school, not having access to internet is one thing that's plaguing our community. That's one thing that we have to move forward on pretty quickly. Because if you look at the digital divide and you look at when you go to different places and you understand the importance of internet, when you have to do homework, when you have to do work for for work and everything, it makes a difference, because you can't get it, you just out of luck, and you have to go to a place where you can get free internet. And that's
And
one
I
thing
guess
we're
going
working
through
on.
this pandemic, it's just become more and more important at this time.
Right, it's more important, because everything is, like I said, when you go to a job, you have to be able to be computer savvy, get on, do that, and you know, if you're not doing it every day, you just don't have the attainability to do what you need to do. So we know everything is more computerized than you ever want to know.
Gotcha. I am learning, and I call myself trying to keep up with things, but you have thrown some information today that it just really just aroused my attention, and I know that we're going to have to go further and further and further. So those of you out there that may be just joining us, this is Representative Ricky Thompson of the 16th District. We've covered a lot of things today, but mainly on the COVID relief and the information that's coming. I will want to give him his kudos while he's here. He's been giving this information for the last year. He's down there working hard. I think he's probably one of the hardest working men that we have in here now, to give back to the grassroots and our underprivileged communities. So again, Robert Hall, Project-elect, we're a conduit for the community. We're trying to push forward, get all the information we can to you. As always, we thank Maurice Schompert, the man behind the camera. And until next time, conversations with Representative Ricky Thompson. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.